So we've long wanted to know, well, what intelligence did you have that actually led to this investigation? So what we found now, after the investigators have reviewed it, is that, in fact, there was no intelligence. We now know that there was no official intelligence that was used to start this investigation. We know that Sidney Blumenthal and others were pushing information into the State Department. So we're trying to piece all of that together, and that's why we continued to look at the State Department.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. The man leading the House Russian probe, Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, right there, telling our Maria Bartiromo this weekend there was no intelligence used to begin a probe into any collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. If you're confused before, just add to it now. Joining me now, former prosecutor David Bruno. All right, David, so to Mr. Nunes' point, They applied for a FISA warrant based solely, not, as he says, on intel, no official intelligence, but based on the dossier, the information provided within, that was funded by the Democratic National Committee. Correct?
Well, correct. And these are two different issues. What Devin Nunes just talked about is how the investigation was started. We know that it was started in July of 2016, and it was started as a result of a conversation that George Papadopoulos had with an Australian diplomat.
In a bar.
Right, right. So in the Schiff Minority Memorandum on FISA, they point to that. They say it wasn't Steele that initiated the investigation, it was the Papadopoulos information. What we found out is that the information about the Papadopoulos statements didn't come through normal channels. We would expect that it would come through this Five Eyes agreement, which is a partnership with Australia. And there are no reports. There's nothing to document that information coming our way. So the next question is, if it didn't come through the proper channels,
where did it come from?
Where did it come from? That's what they're looking at. That's what's important.
And that you have a copy here, but it's redacted. So we don't know yet.
Sure. I have it, and everyone is welcome to look at the Schiff FISA memorandum. It is a part of it where it says that, wait a second, this is not opened based on Steele. It's opened by the Papadopoulos information that came from the Australians.
Well, listen, let's talk about Steele, because a lot has been made of this. He was actually terminated by the FBI, even though the information that he accumulated for them was used.
Sure. He was terminated for leaking stuff to the press.
Correct.
Right? And there's arguments to be made that the information that he provided to the press was also used in the FISA applications, which is called circular reporting. So the argument was made that, well, there's press information that corroborate Steele, but Steele was the actual source. A lot to be made. Let's not forget there are multiple referrals to the DOJ and the FBI as Steele is a target of a criminal investigation. It could come to that.
So all we've heard is Russia, 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 Russia. Nothing yet of any substance at all. How long does this go on? And is it to the point where they're going to have to find something to justify everything that's come up to this point?
Nobody knows how long. I mean, now, it could go on into finances. It could go on into past history. We've seen that in the Gates Manafort indictment, right? That had nothing to do with Russian collusion. It was money laundering. It was tax-related information. So how far can he go on? He could go on for a while. Hopefully, for the country's sake, for our market's sake, for all of our sakes, this is ended quickly.
All right, we're already out of time. But David Bruno, thank you so much.
Great to see you, Ashley.
It can make your eyes glaze over, that's for sure, but we're staying up with it. David, thank you very much.